Read bits. Which WoW skill is secretly super easy to learn? While at my desk job, I wasn't allowed to have my phone, so I started learning origami instead. I got maybe 20 hours of origami practice a week and even used the work's computer paper for it. I've had several girlfriends I've met just by casually turning a piece of scrap paper into a flower at meetings. My husband still has the origami bow tie I made for him out of a dollar bill the first time we met, just trying to impress him. Edited to add 11 years in case you were wondering. For me, it was lock picking. Was always impressed by it, and then I learned it and realized how really insecure most padlocks are. It gets worse. There's a saying in lock sport that the best pick for any lock is its key. Where it gets dicey is that if you live in a residential area in the US, then statistically, there's likely to be at least 2 or 3 other front doors on your block that are keyed alike with your front door, meaning the key to their house is also the perfect pick for yours. For a long time, nearly every taxi cab in NYC used the same door and ignition keys, as did every cop car in NYC. In office buildings with a locked box of keys in the secretary's office, for every cabinet, utility room, etc. in the building, often as many as a third of the keys in that box will be the same key as opens that box. If you can get into the key box, then you don't need to. Just use the key box key to open the supply cabinet directly. The amount of stuff being keyed alike in the US is ridiculous. We lost our house keys and had a locksmith make us a new one. Turns out it was a master key, essentially, that opened every front door in our whole 100-plus house neighborhood. Magic. Especially card tricks. The hard part is entertaining people enough so they don't look at the setup. Learning the sky. Both day and night. Anywhere on Earth, day or night, using the sky, I know the cardinal directions. I know most constellations. I know what most of the fuzzy patches visible to the naked eye are in the night sky and can explain them to people. I can give a basic weather forecast by looking at cloud types, as certain clouds are formed by certain effects. This is not a difficult skill. Learning to read other scripts like Greek or Cyrillic Russian. You don't even need to speak a language that uses it, I don't. But just being able to read them a little bit is so useful. Suddenly you see these letters everywhere, and half the time you know what it says because it's so similar to a language you already speak. And people think it's super impressive when it actually takes very little time, just some occasional practice to learn. Also, runes. Super cool, super easy, and quick to learn how to write and read. Juggling 3 balls. Looks impressive, but you can learn it in a weekend. I went to visit my long-distance girlfriend at her college. I was able to learn to juggle from some of her friends in a few hours before she got back from class. It was pretty awesome when she walked into the dorm and I said, "Hey babe, check this out." Moonwalking. I learned it when my kids were really young just to make them laugh. It's all just a rhythm of the feet. You can get it down in an hour or so. I like to do it randomly when I leave a room. How did you learn? There are videos on YouTube. Once you see how it's actually done, it's all in the rhythm. Speed reading. Everyone thinks you're some kind of superhuman when you can flip through pages quickly, but it's mostly just training your eyes to stop saying every word in your head. Took me about a month to get decent at it. Touch typing. Not the easiest of them all, but very well perceived by others. Being able to look at someone whilst typing is a good way to impress them. Also, it makes your life much more efficient and writing something becomes a breeze. I could never tell how much of an improvement it would be until I learned it. I'm not even that good at it. 60 words per minute in my native language, but the improvement is huge. Parallel parking. I could teach you in 10 minutes. I used to struggle with it until I saw a GIF showing the angles and when to turn your wheels. Now it's super easy and I do it in one maneuver every time. People just don't know where the corners of their car are. Well, that would have been helpful before my driving test all those years ago. I wasn't able to do it, but the tester just said, "Oh well, I don't think anyone has been killed by failing at parallel parking," and let it go and passed me. Taking the tiny effort into cooking. Like, I have wowed people with my most basic recipes that I get done in 15 minutes, like fusilli pasta with chicken, garlic fromage, a la creme, and cheese. I used to hang with friends and just order pizza or burgers, but now we usually cook or barbecue, which is a ton more fun and delicious than getting takeaway. Drawing. It seriously only takes a couple of study days to be able to draw well enough to impress those who don't draw. That's why it is so confusing to me why people would instead ask a machine to do it. Unless you are physically disabled, drawing is super easy to learn. You don't even need to be creative to learn perspective or accuracy. Uncreative, unskilled people used to draw because cameras didn't exist. It was a daily thing. That's why we see those old journals from the 1700s have great drawings in them. No cameras around? Better draw what I see or people won't believe me. Being kind. Agreed. One conversation about how to be an active listener and build communication skills based on curiosity rather than a need to be right could absolutely change a person's relationships if they were ready and open to it, and the world would be better for it. Meditation. 10 minutes a day for a few weeks, months, and you will surely notice a lot of differences. Throw in 10 more minutes for some theory to deepen your understanding, and you will feel like you've learned a superpower in no time. It's not easy per se, but I learned how to do a Rubik's Cube in a weekend. Found a guide with repeatable steps. You've got to do it over and over again to build the muscle memory. I used what I think is called the layer method. It's not all that hard to learn, but it's not incredible fast either. You're not going to do a YouTube video solving it in 10 seconds or anything. My record is maybe 1.5 minutes. Here's a list of things that always impress people. You can learn these all in a few minutes each, and if people are impressed, you can teach them right then and there, which is also a bonus. Languages, how to say hello, goodbye, please, thank you, and count to 5 in multiple languages. Origami. Learn how to fold one stupid little thing out of a rectangular piece of paper. I can fold a frog that hops. I casually make that out of a receipt of Post-it, and people are extremely impressed. Jokes. Learn a couple short ones and one with a longer build-up. Practice your delivery so you can fire them off without umming or uh-ing. It helps to do funny voices too if you can. Card tricks. Learn a simple one that doesn't require a lot of sleight of hand. Changing oil, changing a tire, replacing car filters, replacing headlights. Just simple car stuff. YouTube Academy is the best, and you can help your friends, maybe even impress somebody. I miss when self-respect was a common skill, but now it's a wow skill. It impacts so much and helps you achieve so much. I see so much lack of it. Rude drivers, rude people, inconsiderate people, lazy coworkers. Self-respect makes you think beyond yourself and better understand how people perceive you, your impact. It's different than caring about others' opinions, though. It's about showing up so there isn't need for people to have an opinion of you. Funny enough, driving stick. Used to impress any lady that got in my car back in high school, 2011-ish. I think you might be hard-pressed to find a manual car these days, but it's so much easier to learn than people realize. One afternoon to get the basics down, and then just don't give yourself the option of driving anything else. I went from being super nervous when I still had my permit to essentially feeling like I had always drove stick in less than a week of getting my license because I didn't have another car. Like all skills, you just need to do it. And that's it. Thanks for watching. And what wow skill do you know that is very easy to learn? Write in the comments. Bye.